Hello, welcome. Thank you for spending your evening with us. I wanted to see if anybody here has attended our May workshops last spring. Anybody? Okay. I'm Dolnari Ederi Aga, and I am the administrator working with Parent University. I wanted to introduce you to our team. Rebecca Fast is our teacher on special assignment, and our two parent coordinators is Yolanda Huerta in the back of the room, and then Sam Kyo you probably saw as you walked in. This tiny but mighty team is very busy. They, in addition to supporting Parent University, they also support the middle and high school choice team. They are the middle and high school choice team. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge Rebecca for her work. She spent a lot of time coordinating and developing these parent workshops. So thank you, Rebecca, for your hard work. And I also want to thank the principal of Pauley High School, Bill Salas, for graciously hosting our workshops here. I'm going to now turn it over to Rebecca.
Welcome to our first Parent University workshop here at Pauley for our fall series. We piloted some workshops in May last year, and they were really successful, and we were very fortunate to be able to plan some for the fall. So every Tuesday for the next 2 months, we're going to be having some parent workshops here on various topics. And tonight's topic is high school choice. So I'll give you a little bit of background into just a little bit into Parent University. So Parent University, our real philosophy is that total student success comes when parents and teachers and the schools are all working together, right? And this model is great. I'm very fortunate in Parent University to see it through both lenses. As a former classroom teacher, I have that experience, and I'm also a parent in this district as well. And in fact, I'm also an 8th grade parent. So I'm in your shoes tonight here, parents, as we listen and get ready for high school choice. So I'm very excited to work with you tonight, and hopefully I will see you again at some of our other workshops throughout this fall semester. I'm going to take just a minute really quick before we get too farther, and if you've just come on in, grab a seat. If you could just take a minute right now and introduce yourself to the folks either sitting at your table or across from your table, and just let them know what school that your kiddos go to, what grade they're in, and then what brought you here tonight. So what made you come out on this Tuesday night and join us? So if you could just take a few minutes and break the ice a little bit here. 10 more seconds or so. Okay. I'm going to turn this back over to Delnari and Kelly for the evening. Again, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy this informative session. And like a parent, I'm going to be sitting with you in the audience as an 8th grade parent as well. So enjoy the session.
Before we go on and start the high school choice presentation, I want to remind you, if you have any questions that are very specific to your family or for your children, we're going to have some feedback forms that we're going to give you at the end of the evening, towards the end of the night. Please put those specific questions on the feedback form so that we can protect the confidentiality of your children, okay? So any specific questions dealing with your children, put on the feedback form, and we look through all of them. So I'm gonna we'll go ahead and welcome Kelly Hodge.
Okay, I like to walk around a little. First of all, welcome. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. I know after a long day at work and fighting traffic and parking, I know sometimes it's a hard decision, and I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm hoping that we have some people watching from home on our link. My name is Kelly Hodge. I've been with Long Beach Unified School District. This is my 16th year. I spent 13 years in the classroom, 7 years as an elementary school teacher at King up north, and for 6 years at Jordan High School teaching geometry and AP statistics. I am a mom of a Long Beach Unified School District graduate who actually graduated from Poly in 2011, and I'm actually standing in the spot where he took his senior photo, so it's kind of sentimental for me. I had an opportunity to hear some of you when you were talking and sharing with your partners. It looks like most of us are parents of 8th graders, if I understand. I know we do have one 7th grade parent back here who's getting a head start. 7th grade up here as well, getting a head start. I love it. Okay. So might want to roll up your sleeves. We're heading into a great adventure here. I overheard some parents saying, it's hard to believe your student is just starting a grade and you're having to already think about the next one. Well, I belong to a phenomenal team who you were already introduced to, Rebecca, Yolanda, and Sam. We oversee high school and middle school choice out of the Office of Equity, Access, and College Career Readiness. And our intention, our purpose, is to support families through what can be a very exciting process, but at the same time, a little overwhelming. So our job is to kind of make it a little bit more easy for you and easier to navigate, okay? My intention is that by the end of the, I got ahead of myself there. By the end of the evening, it's a little bit clearer to you what the choice process will look like and give you an idea of the exploration, opportunities, and events that exist so that you can become more familiar with the pathways and high schools here in Long Beach, okay? So you've already had an opportunity to kind of meet some people around you, just on your own, kind of thinking, how many high schools are there in Long Beach? And then with your partner or your new neighbor, kind of talk it over. How many high schools do you think there are in Long Beach? I'm hearing 20, 10, 9. Any other takers? 12. Okay. There are actually 11 high schools in Long Beach Unified School District that participate in choice. We have over 40 pathways to choose from amongst those 11 high schools. So I did hear 7, 9, I heard 20. That would be a lot. With your partner, see if you can try to name some of those 11. What are some of those options that we hear in Long Beach? I'm hearing a lot of McBride, Pauley, Wilson. I heard Sada, Wilson. You're like, oh, yeah. Milliken, Jordan. Okay, yeah. How about, did I hear Renaissance? We got a School of the Arts Renaissance out there? Okay. So we do have 11 of them. It sounds like now that we know how many, we're getting a better grasp on what they are, all of them. But, oh, we just did that. I get so excited I forget what my slides are. So these are the 11 high schools to explore in Long Beach. We have 6 comprehensive high schools. That's probably more of what you would consider a traditional high school. It's kind of our larger ones. I think we named all of them. I'm not sure I heard Milliken. Did we hear Milliken earlier? Got those. Then we also have 5 thematic schools. I think we got all of them. Maybe Browning. Kind of missed out on that one. That's one of our newest high schools in Long Beach. Okay. So we do have our 6 comprehensive and our 5 thematic high schools. They offer unique opportunities. The comprehensive high schools, those are our larger high schools with approximately 2,500 to 4,000 students, while the thematic schools are much smaller, 150 to 1,200 students. Your comprehensive schools are going to have your full CIF athletics. So if athletics is something that's very important to your family or your student, you'd want to keep that in consideration when you're considering high schools. Our thematics high schools have limited or no sports. However, all of our schools do offer clubs on campus, so there is some opportunity to interact with other students outside of the classroom. The comprehensive high schools are able to offer full special education programs, while the thematic schools do not offer special day class programs. They're not large enough to support a program of that type. Residential priority is given in pathways and programs that don't have minimum criteria. That's at the comprehensive high schools. And we're really going to dive deeper into what this means later on in the presentation. The thematic high schools do not have residential boundaries. So it might be right across the street from you, but that doesn't mean it's your residential high school. Okay, the comprehensive high schools are the high schools of residence. Now, what's really unique about Long Beach and kind of makes us special is that we offer AP classes to all of our students. It does not matter if they're at a comprehensive high school or a thematic high school, if they're in what's considered a specialized pathway or a traditional pathway. All students have access to rigor in Long Beach. They also all prepare for college and career, and this is really important. You must apply online through Parent View. Every single current 8th grader, even if you want to go to your comprehensive high school of residence, you have to apply online, okay? So, oh yes. The question was, is all of this information available somewhere? Yes. And we'll be getting into that, yeah. And part of it is this presentation in this live streaming, and yeah. And then you're also going to see we have a helpline. We have multiple events to help families through this as well. Mm-hmm. So when I talked earlier about pathways, minimum criteria, residential priority, what you're going to hear over and over through high school choice is the word pathways. And a lot of parents, this is the first time they're hearing about it, is when their child is going to be going to the 9th grade. And it's only, October of their 8th grade year? Okay. So what are pathways? Pathways, it's research-based instructional practices that are used in schools throughout California that make education relevant to students. Students choose a pathway that's connected to an industry theme, and it's through this industry theme that their lessons are taught across the subjects. Excuse me, let me say that again. This is the theme that is woven into lessons across their subjects, okay? There are four core components to link learning: rigorous academics, career-based learning. That goes back to the slide where I was telling you whether or not your student goes to a comprehensive or thematic high school, they will have college and career preparedness. It's that rigor and career-based learning. Work-based learning is the other core component, and lastly, a personalized support. In the end, what linked learning pathways do is they answer this really important question that I would get as a classroom teacher all the time, usually in a different form, but it's, why do I need to know this? Okay, that's what linked learning pathways do. And what I wanted to do was show an example of what that looks like at Browning High School. If I click on this, does it open to a new tab? Okay. Oh, I don't know how to use a Mac. Do I need to go back to Oh, okay, while they're going to help me, obviously I have technological issues. At the front, at the front of your agenda, the front page, it says the document can be located, and there's a bit.ly. So if you have your cell phone with you and it's charged and you have a browser, you can go to that bit.ly High School Choice Parents 2019, and there are links inside the agenda. If we can't, oh, did it pull up? Oh, that's great, thank you. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how the 4 components of linked learning are exhibited at our high school. So this is Browning High School. It's one of our newest high schools. It's thematic. And we're going to go into more of these websites, but I just wanted to show you that. This is just like when I was in the classroom. I'd have to call students up to help me. Oh, there, I got it, okay. So we talked about rigor in the classroom. Well, you'll see at Browning, it is a hospitality, tourism, and culinary arts school. But if you look at their course of study, the students are taking their English classes, accelerated English, geometry. You'll see AP classes. They've got electives like exploring arts and AP psychology. Along with that is that career learning. So here they're taking principles of hospitality and tourism. In the 10th grade, they've got food chemistry. Wow, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? They also have opportunities to take great customer service. That's where it's all woven in together. We're talking about across those subjects. And then they have work-based learning opportunities. They have a relationship with Long Beach City College, Cal State, Long Beach, guest speakers, work site tours, job shadows. That's that other piece. What's really important with Pathways and unique with Pathways is that personalized support. It's like having a school inside of a school. So if your child is at a comprehensive high school, they're also part of a pathway. So instead of just 4,000 students, they might be part of a group of just 400 or 300. So their grade level teachers really get to know them, right? They can really support them. And then across grade levels, 9th through 12th, vertically as well. So I just wanted to illustrate to you what that looks like with linked learning. And I'm going to have to ask Rebecca how to get me back to that. At the bottom of the slide too, once you get into the bit.ly, I did put a link to our district's website for linked learning. If you wanted to dive a little bit deeper into linked learning pathways, okay? And here we go. Are there any questions regarding pathways? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just would like to know a rough idea of what the percentage of high school students in Long Beach who are participating in the pathway programs, or one of them, versus students that are not. And just
Actually, every single student in Long Beach is part of a pathway. Every student, we are choosing pathways. It's, it's the data shows, the research shows that that students are more engaged and the achievement is higher when they're part of these pathways. Again, it's making that education relevant and tying it to the real world. Yeah, so every student.
They're young, they're not sure what they want to do. What if they decide, well, I don't want to do this anymore, and they want to change their pathway?
That's a really good question. A lot of times parents, because this is not the way we necessarily went to high school, right? So a lot of parents think, you're asking me, my 8th grader, who's barely an 8th grader, to choose their career. What we're doing is we're asking them to choose an interest for which it'll be their lens for learning in high school. When I was at Jordan, I was the lead teacher for Academy of Hospitality and Tourism, but I had aspiring doctors and artists, but their lens of learning was through hospitality and tourism. At Jordan, we have AIMS, Aspirations of Medical Services. I had many of those students. Some of them, maybe they're not going to go into the medical field, but everything that they learn was through that lens, and that work-based learning makes everything kind of relevant to the real world. So I hope that, does that answer your question a little? Soft skills, right. Just how to work in a team, collaborate, research. Yeah. Okay, so then the question is, what's a good pathway for my student? What we want them to do is choose something that they're going to be interested in. Doesn't mean you're an expert yet. So when you were coming in, if you were here a little early, we were asking you to fill out or work on the middle school interest survey. This is something that we actually ask students to engage in. So if you would like to take just a moment, I'm going to check my watch here. Yes, we have a little bit of time. If you haven't had a chance to look at the middle school survey, it's the second page in your agenda packet. There are boxes with a series of questions. What you do is you read those questions and you decide, is this something I like to do? Is this something I'm interested in? It's not a test. There's no right or wrong answer. In the end, what you do is you count the number of things that you put a check next to, because that's like, hey, that's something I'm kind of interested in. And then you count the number of checks. And in the end, the box that has the most checks aligns to an industry sector on the next page, which then lets you know what pathways we offer at Long Beach that tie with those industry sectors. So I'm going to give you just a couple moments to look that over, and I can come around and answer questions on how to complete that. It's a really important step if your student's not sure what lens they would like to learn through in high school. Did I lose? Oh, you can hear me. Okay, so I did have a parent just ask me, oh, but I don't want to fill it out because I want my student to do it. This is available on our website to reprint again if you like. So yes, please feel free to engage in it. So, oh, there we go, sorry. Just for the sake of time, so we're sure to get out here on time, we're going to go ahead. But does anyone want to share out a industry sector that they were really, that kind of showed some interest, a lot of check marks in that box? What's that? Oh, he's like, yeah, it does take a little bit of time. They're really into it. Oh, I love that. Thank you, sir. What would interest you?
I got the box too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get through the whole thing, but just through on box number 1, I selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 different items on there.
Okay, so for box number 1, he said he'd already checked 6 different things. So box number 1, when he looks at the results page, what industry sector was that?
Agriculture and natural resources.
Okay. And then if you go all the way to the right, which Long Beach Unified School District pathway aligns with that?
The Odyssey, Lakewood.
Lakewood
/
Odyssey. Mhm. Would anybody else like to share? Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I was just seeing if anybody else wanted to participate. Okay. So we're going to move on, but I just want you to know that's a tool that you can use with your student. And again, that is available on our website, which I will be showing you later, that you'll be able to print and work with them on. Thank you. Oh, why did it do that? Am I supposed to go? Apologize for this. I'm not used to using a Mac. Okay, so we do have some other programs in the district that are not aligned with a specific industry. We have one at Jordan, it's International Baccalaureate. Lakewood is Merit Scholars, Millikan Quest. At Poly, CIC and PACE, and at Wilson, there's WAVE. Okay, so those might be some other programs that your student might be interested in. So, so we're going to be diving a little bit deeper. So for pathways, we have traditional pathways. We have 40 plus pathways in our district. The vast majority have no minimum GPA requirement. They are open to all students to apply. The thing that's very important to remember, though, is for these pathways, residents of that high school get priority if they put it as their first choice. Okay? Pathways with GPA requirements, they do have the minimum GPA. They may have other qualifying criteria, a minimum English Language Arts SBAC score, for example. Some of them do have residential preference, like Poly CIC and Jordan Ames, but the majority do not. The students that apply to these programs are all put into kind of the same group, and then from high to low GPA, that's how they're sorted. And if a pathway takes 180 students, and if more than 180 students apply, they go high to low GPA until they fill with the 180 students. And it's not based on residence. Again, I just want to let you know that all of our high schools have schools within schools. We call them pathways. They all offer AP classes. They prepare our students for college and career. And you must apply through Parent View. So I want to give you an example of what that looks like, those pathways with and without minimum GPAs. At Cabrillo, for example, they have 5 pathways. Let me say that again, 4 pathways. They have Law and Justice. They have the Academy of Global Logistics, a partnership with Port of Long Beach. And they have SACMA, their Media Arts and Animation. None of these have a GPA requirement. They're open to all students in our district to apply. However, the students that are residents of Cabrillo, they do get priority. Versus, they have their CED, which is their engineering program. It has a minimum 2.0 to even apply for it, but it is open to all students. All students that apply will be ranked from high to low GPA. And you had to have the 2.0 just to apply. Okay. Something that's kind of unique now in our district too is that almost all of our comprehensive high schools have kind of a layered piece to their pathways. At Cabrillo, it's called University Scholars. You have to have a minimum 3.0 to apply, to have taken algebra in the 8th grade, and this University Scholars is available in all their pathways. So maybe you're really interested in the Academy of Global Logistics and everything that it has to offer with its relationship with the Port of Long Beach, but your child has a 3.0 GPA or higher, then what you could apply for is University Scholars AGL versus AGL. Or maybe your student is really interested in media arts and animation, but they have a 3.0 or higher, have taken algebra in the 8th grade, so you would be open to apply for University Scholars SACMA. And this is what it would look like at Lakewood. Lakewood has many pathways. They have their applied technology, DMAC, which is their media arts and communication, their health occupation, and that marine industry, which, sir, I believe you were interested in. These do not have a minimum GPA to apply. However, Lakewood residents do get priority. They will be placed before all other students. If there are any spaces left, then they would take the non-residents and they would be randomly assigned. They have Merit Scholars, which has the minimum 3.0. You have to have algebra. They have a minimum ELA SBAC that you have to even be able to apply, but there is no residential priority. It's open to all students to apply. They also have, instead of what's called University Scholars at Cabrillo, they have the Knights program, minimum 3.0 to even apply. It's available in all their pathways. So if your student's really interested in health, occupations, and sports medicine, but maybe they're academically high achieving, then maybe you want to apply for Knights HOSM. Any questions on that? Wilson has their version. It's called Distinguished Scholars, right here. Jordan has their version of this layered. It's Accelerated Scholars. They are all the same, 3.0 GPA and non-residential priority. Yes.
I have a question. You made a comment that for the programs, they'll take fill the spots from higher GPA to low, for example, 180 spots was your example. Do they take the accelerated courses and grades into consideration versus a traditional math class or English class? Do they take that a child in middle school was taking accelerated classes?
So I think if I'm understanding your question correctly, the answer is no. What we look at and what the data and research database looks at is the academic GPA for 6th and 7th grade. Does that answer your question? Okay, good.
Can I give you a microphone? I'm so sorry.
No, just to expand on it, I think what you're asking is if a child has Math 7 in the 7th grade, right? Like my son, he's Math 7 accelerated versus another student who has Math 7. Would my son would the person in accelerated get, I guess, a higher priority than the person in maths? Yeah.
No, it's just based on the academic GPA.
You do need to have algebra to apply for a lot of the programs. So if your child is not in the accelerated Math 7, therefore not in algebra in 8th grade, they wouldn't be able to apply. So that would be a difference there.
Oh yeah, for the 7th. Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I know, that's okay. Just breathe. We're in it together.
Okay, so my question is, okay, so there's 4 pathways on the left that say my son has to choose from. So he picks the computer one, but he's taking algebra right now, and he's got, say a 4.0. So what's with, I don't understand, like, if he does the Knights, say, and he's doing the computer one.
Are you referring to technology when you say the
technology,
computer? ATM, yes.
I guess my question is he taking the same classes as everybody else, or why?
Yeah, so here probably it would be different for each student, but with a minimum 3.0 GPA. So maybe they haven't taken algebra in the 8th grade, but maybe they're accelerating in English. So what they might find themselves in that situation is in the 9th grade, they'd find themselves in accelerated English class.
I'm just asking, is it combined or is it two separate things?
Two separate, like cohorted. These, if your child was in Knights, Applied Technology and Media, then in their accelerated English class, as pure as they can make it would be with other students that are in the Knights.
I get it now. So
ATM.
like your math and your regular classes would be that, but then
It'd be
that's
based on their
your,
instructional
I get it
level.
now.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you're asked. Don't say sorry. we remember we're in this together. That's what we're here for, is to clarify. Yeah. Okay. So just want to give you 2 examples. Okay. So this is this year's minimum qualifying criteria that we have for, like I said, we have over 40 pathways. 14 of them have minimum criteria. You don't have to try and write all this down. It is actually on our website and going to be coming to you in a mailing packet. But just wanted to let you know there are a variety of opportunities to enter into high school and pathways to find something that meets their needs academically and emotionally and socially. Okay. Some other things, though, that you want to consider is that some programs are very popular. And I'm just going to let you take in this slide for just a moment. We've got the high school to the left program here. From our data that our team ran, these were the number of students that put it as their first choice. These are the number of seats that were available in those pathways. So some are very popular. Most of them are arts programs. Poly Parts had 260 students selected first. How many seats, though? 125. And that is not a specialized pathway. Residents get priority. So if they're a Poly resident, they'd get priority. For Poly PACE, very popular program in the district, 250 put it first, 180 spots. Milliken Quest, Lakewood DMAC, and Jordan JMAC. Those all fall under the arts. The arts are extremely popular. So my son's graduated from high school, but I would just give you my scenario. If my son was interested in the arts or media arts, I would have him, for his first choice, put the arts program that's my high school of residence. Any questions regarding this slide? Okay. Oh, yeah. So this is P parts Poly Arts. PACE, it stands for something. Accelerated Curriculum. But it's actually in our mailers. Yeah, for the sake of
would know.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually worked at Poly for a year. I never knew what Poly PACE stood for. I just knew it was Poly PACE. But down here, the Compass is their arts program, but again, the COMPAS, it does stand for something, and that would be more spelled out in the mailers. But it's the arts programs, Media and Arts and Communications. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes. What factors determine from 250 that the applicants put in to the 180 that's accepted? So the 70 that are not accepted, what is the determining factors for them not to be accepted, excluding the resident part?
Are you referring to Poly PACE?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to go to I believe it's the next slide that'll help me answer that one. Okay, so Poly PACE, they had a minimum, you just led me right to my next slide, thank you. Last year's minimum GPA for Poly PACE to even apply, for it to appear on the online application, a student had to have a minimum 3.6 GPA. How many did we say applied? 250. Those 250 students that selected as their first choice were ranked highest to lowest GPA until the first 180 spots were filled.
The last
Okay.
name from A, B, C down to Z. Let's say-
No,
let's- or
it's
let's
by
say-
it's by GPA. It's by 4.0, 3.99, 3.98. It's not by student name or student ID. It's a column GPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the median was 3.6 for last year's GPA.
The minimum GPA needed to apply was 3.6. The lowest GPA accepted was 3.8 when we went highest to lowest for 180.
Okay, there we go. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And if you look at Millikan Quest, the minimum was 3.6 to apply. The minimum GPA accepted was 3.82, but it was just due to the numbers for that year. Okay. Oh, sure. Yeah, so there's a link to the, with the bit.ly, you can just go right on there. It is. Yeah, if you go to the bit.ly, then the links that are in the agenda, there's a link to the presentation, you can go right on there. So you don't have to write anything, you can go back and revisit it, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so I keep harping on this, must apply online through ParentView. Another thing ParentView is really good for is all kinds of things, and Rebecca does a whole workshop on that. But what you can do is you can go find your student's academic GPA for 6th and 7th grade. Again, if you want to take pictures, you can, but it is in the presentation. You log on to ParentView, select your 8th grade student, or any age student, but particularly for high school choice. You're going to get a menu to the left. And I really, as a parent, I would encourage you to click on all of these at some point, investigate. It's a powerful tool for a parent. But assessments and more, you select assessments and more. Click here to access. And again, look at all this powerful information. But down here, unofficial student transcript, and you can look at their academic GPA for 6th and 7th grade. Okay, so there are many things to consider with choice, pathways being one of them, but also there's just some realities that come with day-to-day living as a family. So some things to think about. What's best for our family, comprehensive or thematic? Best for our student? Are athletics really important? If so, probably going to want to choose a comprehensive. If it's not as much in a smaller learning environment, then maybe it's the thematic. There is no guarantee of site placement due to siblings already enrolled at a site. If those of you have engaged in middle school choice, there is some sibling priority, but for high school choice, there is not. And transportation is not offered to any high school in Long Beach Unified School District. So transportation can actually, in the beginning, it might seem like, oh, this would be easy, we can do this, but it's something to really consider as a family, getting a student to and from a school that might be far from where you live. Then other considerations, there is no priority placement given to students coming from a high school's feeder middle school, because we do engage in middle school of choice in our district. Your child might be attending a middle school that is not your middle school of residence. So I just want to give an example. I might have an 8th grader attending Rogers Middle School. But Rogers Middle School is not my middle school of residence. In fact, maybe it's Hughes. People who live in Rogers Middle School of residence, their high school of residence is going to be Wilson. My son attends Rogers, but Wilson is not my high school of residence, so I do not get priority at Wilson. I get priority at my high school of residence, okay? No student is guaranteed their school of residence. However, they are given residential priority at their residential high school when a pathway is selected as a first choice. Okay? And those are pathways without minimum criteria. Yes, sir.
Is there a link to the residents of is there a link on Parent View or on the web that tells you what the high school of choice is for your student?
Your high school of residence?
Yes.
Yes, there's actually a school finder feature on the district's website. If you typed under search school finder, you type in your address and it would give you your high school of residence. You could also ask your students' middle school staff if you're not sure. Okay. Lastly, small thematic high schools are not considered residential high schools, even if you can see it from your front door. Okay, the comprehensive high schools are the high schools residents. Okay, so this leads us to the high school choice season, which actually kicked off today, October 1st. I'm hoping if you're a parent of an 8th grader, you received an email today with some links to a high school choice office website and a school of choice websites page, and a text as well. I apologize. We have set up the high school choice process into 3 phases: explore, apply, and then get prepared. Okay, so the exploration phase, you should be receiving a mailer at your home address that's in Parent View. If you don't receive that by next Monday, October 7th, then your address may not be correct in Parent View. You need to go to your middle school and get that corrected, because it does affect your high school choice application and can have your high school of residence not listed correctly. So make sure that you get your mailer, and if you don't, that's your cue to go visit your middle school. That's for 8th grades. That's only for current 8th graders. It is available on our website as well, if you want to look at our mailer, okay? Check your address. Okay.
Can I go to my son's school now, even though he's in the 7th grade, and request a mailer for him? Like
No.
that?
No,
Okay.
but you will be able, you can download it from our website, and I'm going to show you where that is in just a moment. Yes. Yeah. The mailers come from our Office of Equity and Access. Yeah. So peruse the mailer that you get. It's got important events and, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand.
If I know my address is not current, like I haven't changed it, is there a deadline to when I need to do it?
Now. Immediately, please.
Okay.
Yes, because it's going to highly impact your high school online application.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just encourage that to be done now instead of waiting till the application goes live in December, because paperwork does take a while to process and to get everything input, because it has to be done from the middle school level, then it has to go through a couple different databases from the district level. So we just want to ensure that everything's correct now. Okay. We do have 2 fairs and summits coming up. The first one is this Saturday, October 19th at Cabrillo High School. If you can't make the one on the 19th in October, there's a duplicate one in November. It's really exciting. All 11 high schools are there. They have their tents, all the pathway, lead teachers are there. You can talk to staff. So you can come out and meet face-to-face people from the schools, and particularly the pathways, and ask specific questions. We do have summits where you can get a little bit more in-depth knowledge, possibly with some of our other, or not with all pathways, but select pathways. Those do require tickets, and that will go live online October 10th at 5 p.m. But if you don't get a ticket to one of those sessions, you can still come to the fair. It's open to everyone, and you can meet all the people from a high school, okay? We highly encourage families to come out to that. It's fun and informative. Once you have visited our district-wide fair and summits, we highly encourage you then to zoom in on a couple of high schools. They already have their individual site nights set up, where then you can actually visit the campus. And then you get to learn more about the clubs and the extracurricular activities, meet teachers, and that sort of thing. So those have already been set. And then we also have our high school choice office website. So if I click on this, can I show them? Okay. This is, if you don't want to wait for the mailer to come in the mail, we went live today. Wow, It worked. Thank you. So the grade 8 informational mailing pack is in English and Spanish, and I know there's a participant back here. You actually printed it off earlier today, didn't you? Yeah, so that's there. The timeline, which is included in the packet, is here. Gives a timeline of all of our events and application. Lots of good information, and this is where you can go to get the most up-to-date information. This is where you could get your mailer too as a 7th grade parent. Yes, the link is in the agenda for High School Choice. This is our office out of the Office of Equity and Access. Now, the last thing I believe I'm going to leave you with as far as my presentation is new this year, very exciting, is the High School Choice websites. This is separate than every high school's individual website. This is just for the School of Choice. Remember when I showed you Browning and you saw a video link, the course of study? We have that for all of the high schools and all of their pathways. So you can explore by high school or by industry. I feel like I'm running out of time. Yeah, I'm okay? Okay. So if you're on the bit.ly, there is a link to take you to this high school of Choice website, but you also saw on my website, I have a link in there for you as well. The last page of your packet actually has a scavenger hunt to take you through these websites. So that might be something that you want to engage with your students, or maybe you want to do it yourself to even become more familiar. Okay. I did it all by myself. Okay, so this would be the link that would take you to the High School Choice websites. Again, you can explore by industry or by school. And what my team, I think I can speak for my team, what we were most excited about was to see the course of study. So you can see what classes your student would be taking if they selected that pathway and got into that pathway. They also have the electives, so we had a lot of questions about electives, and also student and teacher quotes. How do the students and teachers feel about their pathways? And a lot of them have links to videos as well. Okay. Any questions? I know that was a lot of information. Good. Did anybody not find their scavenger hunt in the back? So you can go home tonight and have some fun and do a scavenger hunt. Yes, ma'am.
What was that about the tickets that you said? What was that about?
So I had questions about tickets. Our fairs and summits, our first one is October 19th. It's kind of 2 parts. There's just a fair. It's lots of tents, very festive, open to the whole public. But then we also have something called summits, where some of our pathways have separate information sessions that are 30 minutes long within the time period of the fair. The fair goes from 9 to 12. Because those are held in classrooms, we can only have so many people in their time, so we have you go to a link called Eventbrite. The tickets are free, but it's kind of like you're RSVPing and getting a ticket to show to get in, so it is limited. It will go live October 10th at 5 o'clock, and it'll be on our website. And again, maybe you don't get into the one that you want to get into on October 19th. This does repeat again on November 2nd. But then you have the opportunity at the fair to meet with the school sites and actually visit the school sites when they have their individual informational session or informational nights. Is that clearer? I know I went really fast over that. I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
You don't have like the paper packet of the slide you just went through, do you?
I do not, no. We just have the link that's
video?
on the agenda. Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Any other? If you go to the bit.ly that's at the top of this document, it'll take you to a digital version of our agenda. And within our agenda, where you see the word link, you actually can click on it and it'll take you to all those things. Oh, yeah, no, not the the presentation, yes, I'm sorry. Link to tonight's slide presentation. But we just don't have it in hard copy or paper copy. Okay. There was one other thing that is really important that I wanted to share with you, and I failed to show you. So I'm just going to take you back to Browning. And to home. So on my my team's website, and for each of the high school websites, you will find a helpline. It's the High School of Choice Helpline. That means Yolanda, Sam, Rebecca, and myself. We get your voicemail messages and we return calls within 48 hours. Okay, so if you have any questions that come up, that's where we can be reached. I forgot to mention that. Yes, ma'am.
Get into parent view through my phone, but when I try to do it in the computer, is there something that I have to be on through parent view? Because I could get it on my phone, but I have trouble when I do it through the computer.
Unfortunately, I am not that familiar with Parent View to know the difference on technologies. Rebecca, have you come across this? Internet Explorer, okay. And then I know that Parent View, they do have, is it called Parent View Support? There's a link, maybe even in your mobile, on your mobile device, they have a link where you can email them for support. You can email your question. You could even just say, I'm having trouble accessing on my PC. Yeah. Oh, it's a little cryptic, isn't it? 562-997-8306. Yes. Yeah, and to find our website, meaning our little office there, you can just even type in the subject at the lbschools.net, high school choice, and it'll take you to our website. Yeah. It'll take you to the choice website, and we're 8th to 9th transition. Yeah. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing here. Okay. So that concludes the information I wanted to share with you this evening. And I was just hoping that maybe if I didn't overwhelm you too much with information, that maybe you have in mind some next steps that you would want to take in high school choice. But I can help you along. What are some things that you can be doing right now? You're going to read through that mailer that comes to you in the mail or that you download from the website, okay? Take the middle school career interest survey with your student. See what interests them. Maybe you'd be surprised. Explore the choice websites like the one I keep showing you at Browning. It's just full of all kinds of great information and videos and quotes. Please attend the high school fairs and summits. That's where you get to interact face-to-face with representatives from the high schools. Make sure your address on Parent View is correct, and if it's not, get that corrected immediately, okay, through your middle school office. And attend a site night at a few high schools after you've visited our fair and summit. Okay? So these are kind of some action steps to help you through. So with that in mind, can you turn and talk to your new neighbors, and is there a couple high schools you might be interested in visiting? Thank you for coming this evening. I'm hoping that we've given you a little bit of insight, but not completely overwhelmed you. We're here for you. Please call us. Please come to the fair and summits. We will have our own tent out there. Visit some school sites, read the mailer. We've put a lot of time into trying to give you all the information we can succinctly and clearly in all of our materials. And I wish you a lovely high school choice season. Okay. Thank you. Oh, did you want to say something?
Yes. Give it up for Kelly here. Thank you, Kelly, for doing that. Just a note, too, your counselors at your schools are your best point of contact. So if you have questions, your counselors will be hosting an information night. Your counselors will have a lot of information, so they are the best go-to for your students at the sites. Thank you for being here. We hope to see you at a future Parrott University workshop. So thank you for coming. Thanks for.